Hi, my name is Chris, and welcome to this video. Today we're going to talk about the political economy or the power shift between USA and China. In this video, we're going to analyze the political economy or the power shift paradigm between United States of America as the global hegemon and China as the rising power. But before we go through these things, we need to define two important terms of international relations. The first one is power. Power in international relations is defined in terms of control over material resources. The bigger the state is in terms of military and economy, the more influence it has in weaker and less developed states. The second important term is hegemon. According to Italian Marxist philosopher Antonio Gramsci, hegemony is created when the worldview of the ruling class is accepted as the norm of culture and society. In the international level, this can be viewed as the most powerful state enforcing its ideology as the main ideology around the world. In international relations, there is this theory called hegemonic stability theory. Now this assumes that a hegemonic or dominant state is necessary for the creation of long-standing international institutions. This hegemonic state serves as the foundation of these institutions, in which they decline when the power of the hegemonic state also declines. Another theory is power transition theory. The phenomenon in which a rising power overtakes the dominant power for global hegemony is called the power transition. Now these transitions can be peaceful or violent depending on the satisfaction or dissatisfaction of the rising power. In some instances, violent forms of power transitions could lead to major conflict, such as war. When the Second World War ended, the United States of America was seen as the most powerful actor in the international system due to its overwhelming economic and military dominance. Pax Americana is most commonly used to describe the American dominance after 1945 and the peace and stability it brought to most states around the world. Despite decades of dominance in global affairs, US hegemony has been facing a decline. Emerging powers such as China, India, and Brazil are becoming new center points for global influence. The biggest contender right now is China. People's Republic of China is the most populous country in the world with vast geographical features. After the communist state was formed in 1949, China has experienced economic and military growth. Its integration to globalization helped increase its development and economy. If there is a possibility that in the next decade, China will overtake the United States as having the world's biggest economy. China's rise to power could finally surpass the United States, which has been facing decline in recent years. This power shift could have major implications on the political economy of the international actors and the liberal world order established by the United States. This leaves us to asking the questions, how does China compare to USA in terms of national power? And second, how does the power shift paradigm affect the political economy of the liberal world order? To answer these questions, Justin will give us an analysis and discussion of the findings.
China is the world's fastest growing economy, world's largest manufacturer and exporter, and second largest importer. As a communist country, it has cheap labor force, and it possesses huge mineral and agricultural resources. The US is still the largest economy in the world, but predictions were made which speculate that China will surpass the US by the year 2030. China's increase in military spending is due to applying modern modifications in its military capabilities. Still, it would take a lot of time for China to catch up to America. The US has the strongest and most powerful army in the world and has the highest military expenditure, spending on military essentials such as nuclear weapons, drones, long-range missiles, and aircrafts. According to Freedom House's most recent publication entitled Freedom in the World 2019, the world has experienced a 13th consecutive year of decline in global freedom. This shift spanned in many countries around the world, from democracies like US to authoritarian regimes like China and Russia. A lot of nations are moving away from democracy. The crisis is linked to a changing balance of power in a global level. power in industrialized countries such as the United States is slowly dissolving as China, India, and other countries' economies are rising. After gathering, interpreting, and analyzing the collected data, we came up with the answers to the questions. First, compared to the US, China is closing the gap in national power. Due to its enormous population and rapid growth in economy, it will overtake the US in the next decade or so. However, the US is still unmatched, and despite its unprecedented economic development, China has a long way to go, and the US will remain as the global hegemon in the future. Secondly, the power shift between USA and China has a huge impact on the political economy of the world. Economic and political institutions set by Western ideologies are changing as core values of liberal democracy in many countries are shifting to nationalist principles fueled by powerful authoritarian regimes like China. The United States' unwillingness and inability to maintain the principal values of the liberal world order will result to the decline of Pax Americana in the future.
The power shift between USA and China has been straining the relationship of both nations. The conflict of these two nations could lead to a hegemonic war. However, mutual cooperation can still be achieved, and bilateral nations can be strengthened by President Trump and President Xi Jinping despite differences in their national policies. And that's the end of the discussion on the political economy of the power shift between USA and China. Thank you for watching this video.